Craving a bold, velvety French press that actually tastes cafe level at home? Here are the 7 best coffees for French press, ranked and reviewed after hands-on brewing to help you level up your morning ritual from first pour to last sip. Today's lineup breaks down what each coffee really tastes like in a French press, how it behaves with immersion brewing, and who it's perfect for, plus a couple of honest drawbacks on the early picks so you don't waste a bag. Stick around for the top 3. They're incredibly consistent and dial in beautifully with a coarse grind and 4-minute plunge. 7. Lavazza House Blend Perfetto. Brewed as a coarse grind at a 1:15 ratio, Lavazza Perfetto produces a smooth, approachable cup with caramel-laced aroma and a light, velvety body rather than a heavy, oil-rich press profile. The finish leans clean for a press, with gentle sweetness that makes it easy to drink black or with a small splash of milk. This aligns with the brand's positioning of Perfetto as a medium roast with caramel notes and a 3/5 intensity that suits multiple brew methods. On back-to-back cups, the sweetness comes forward early, while the mid-palate can feel a touch thin compared with darker or single-origin options designed for body in immersion. When brewed hotter, the caramel note edges toward light toffee, but pushing time past 4 minutes doesn't add much richness. This blend seems optimized for balance, not heft. It's versatile, but if you love the weighty, syrupy texture that French press can deliver, you may find it restrained. Perfetto's biggest strength is reliability. The blend's 100% Arabica makeup from Central and South America keeps acidity gentle and flavors predictable across batches. If you're moving from drip to French press and want a familiar, smooth cup with minimal bitterness, it's a friendly landing spot. The aroma is inviting, the finish clean, and it holds up well as a daily driver. However, several tasters noted that in larger presses or when the coffee cools, the cup can fade faster than bolder roasts, losing complexity as it sits, more pleasant background than statement cup. 6. Peet's Coffee Major Dickason's Blend. Major Dickason's is a dark roast icon for a reason. In a French press, it's robust, layered, and deeply satisfying, with a classic Peet's roast character that reads as chocolatey, toasty, and full-bodied. Using a coarse grind at 1:15 to 1:16, expect a rounded mouthfeel and a balanced bitterness that lands squarely in that traditional dark zone many press fans love. The brand describes it as rich, complex, and full-bodied, and the profile matches the promise. The blend's strength is its blend. Multiple origins harmonize into a unified flavor that tastes like coffee, not fruit bombs or citrusy acidity. With milk, it becomes cocoa-forward. Black, it's smooth yet assertive, especially fresh off the grind. It's the press equivalent of a well-tailored dark suit, confident and familiar. That said, being honest, there's a narrow window between beautifully bold and slightly ashy, depending on grind and water freshness. If over-extracted, it can lean roasty and mute nuance, especially if your kettle creeps above typical press temps. The Peet's French Press Guide recommends a coarse sea salt grind and careful timing, which helps keep the cup clean and prevents bitterness from dominating. In blind tastings alongside lighter roasts, Dickason's can feel less detailed, trading nuance for cohesion and roast depth. If your palate is shifting toward origin character, you might prefer the top 4 picks. But as a crowd pleaser that's easy to repeat day after day, it's hard to beat, especially with hearty breakfasts. 5. Death Wish Coffee Dark Roast. If you want a bold, high-impact French press with serious punch, Death Wish delivers a dense, syrupy body and an unmistakably dark profile that stands up to milk, sweeteners, or just black with equal force. In a press, the immersion amplifies its intensity, concentrating the chocolate, dark caramel, and smoky edges into a caffeinated wake-up call. It's marketed as extra strong, and immersion highlights that strength without going harsh when grind and time are controlled. With a coarse grind and 4-minute steep, it pours with a heavy crema-like surface sheen and coats the palate, making it perfect for those who equate French press with richness and endurance. It's a terrific weekend brew or workhorse for early mornings when subtlety is not the point. The cup remains consistent as it cools, keeping structure through the last sips. Compared to the Peet's cup, Death Wish leans even darker in perceived roast, but the bitterness is more stout-like than ashy when brewed correctly. It pairs brilliantly with oat milk or cream and doesn't wash out under dilution for iced press. If your goal is impact, you'll get it. Where it can lag behind the top four is in complexity. You're not here for delicate florals or layered acidity. Drinkers who value single-origin clarity may find it monolithic. But for dark roast loyalists who use French press specifically to extract body and oils, it's a bullseye. 4. Volcanica Ethiopian, Yirgacheffe. Volcanica's Ethiopian Yirgacheffe flips the expectation that French press must be heavy in bark by producing a vibrant, aromatic cup with citrus, floral, and tea-like notes that still carry pleasing texture in immersion. A slightly coarser than usual grind preserves clarity, while the press method adds a silky weight to the finish, creating a lovely contrast of brightness and body. It's a great bridge for pour-over drinkers who want a fuller mouthfeel without losing origin character. The first hits are jasmine and lemon zest, followed by honeyed sweetness. As the cup cools, stone fruit can peek through. It's a showcase for careful brewing. Use 1/16, 92 to 94 degrees Celsius water. And don't over-agitate the crust. The result is clean for a press, with lingering florals that feel elegant rather than perfumey. This coffee rewards attention. Dialing grind too fine muddies the brightness, and long steeps can flatten the sparkle. But get it right and the cup is captivating, proving French press can be more than chocolate and smoke. It's also excellent for no-stir, skim and plunge techniques to keep fines in check. In milk, the character softens but doesn't disappear. The aromatics remain, making it one of the few light to medium single origins that carries presence in lattes from a press. If you're chasing clarity with texture, this is your upgrade. Bottom line, a lively floral citrus Ethiopian that keeps its identity in immersion. Brilliant for drinkers who want origin nuance and a plush finish from the same brew. 3. Illy Ground Coffee Moka. Though Illy's mocha grind is intended for stovetop mocha pots, it performs surprisingly well in a French press when treated carefully, delivering a clean cocoa almond profile with silky mouthfeel and minimal bitterness. The key is using a slightly shorter steep, 3:30 to 4 minutes, and a gentle plunge to avoid fines in the cup. In return, you get Illy's hallmark balance and sweetness with a satisfying press texture. It's a refined, European-leaning cup that's polished rather than punchy. Expect a classic Italian profile, medium to medium dark depth, smooth chocolate, nutty aromatics, and a rounded finish that feels composed. It's an easy recommend for households that enjoy mocha and press. One tin serves both with minor technique tweaks. The consistency from Illy's blend and packaging adds to the reliability across cups. Because the grind is finer than typical press, agitation should be minimal. Bloom gently, stir once, and skim before plunging. This workflow yields a remarkably clean press for a pre-ground coffee, making it a rare exception to the always grind fresh rule. It's not as aromatic as the Ethiopian above, but it's more seamless and creamy. With milk, the cocoa notes deepen into a dessert-like profile. Black, it's comforting and balanced with a lingering sweetness. If you want no guesswork elegance in a press, Illy hits the brief. Bottom line, a classy, smooth cup that blends mocha-style richness with press texture. Dial technique and you'll get cafe-level balance from a shelf-stable tin. 2. Lifeboost Coffee Ground Medium. Lifeboost Medium is a standout for French press thanks to its low acidity, clean profile that still carries a creamy, rounded body in immersion. Brewed 1/16 with a coarse grind, it yields milk chocolate, gentle caramel, and a hint of fruit sweetness without sharp edges. Extremely easy on the stomach and remarkably smooth black. For many, it's the perfect daily drinker that doesn't fatigue the palate. The biggest surprise is how stable it tastes as it cools. Flavors stay coherent and the finish remains sweet, which is ideal for slow sippers or large presses shared at the table. It's also highly forgiving. Slight overshoot on temp or time doesn't punish you with bitterness, and it tolerates water variability better than most. As a press base for milk, it takes on a mocha-like profile without needing added sugar. For iced French press, it keeps its shape and doesn't go hollow when diluted. If you've had issues with acid bite from other coffees in immersion, this is a smart pivot. While not as showy as a fruit-forward single origin, Lifeboost's strength is balance, cleanliness, and comfort, 3 traits that make French press shine day after day. It's also a great guest coffee, since almost everyone enjoys it. Bottom line, ultra smooth, low acid, and creamy in a press. An everyday winner that flatters any brewing skill level and cup preference. Kicking Horse Coffee, Kick-Ass Dark Roast. Kick-Ass is the French press champ here because it nails the trifecta. Big flavor, plush body, and a clean, satisfying finish that stays delicious from steaming hot to the final cool sip. In immersion, this dark roast builds a chocolate molasses core with hints of smoky sweetness and a subtle earthiness that reads as rustic in the best way. It's bold without tipping into acrid and incredibly consistent across bags. Using a coarse grind at 115 to 116 and a 4-minute steep, the cup pours with that telltale sheen and a velvety mouthfeel that fans of press crave. Black, it's rich and layered. With milk, it deepens into a cocoa caramel comfort cup that's almost hot chocolate adjacent while still unmistakably coffee. For weekend brunch presses, it's a crowd pleaser. Taste tests across brew methods show Kick-Ass holds its own, but it's in French press that the roast's character really blossoms. Immersion brings out the sweetness and glosses the edges, weaving a powerful yet polished cup. Guides from the brand emphasize press readiness, and the flavor matches those expectations in practice. Compared with major Dickason's, Kick-Ass feels a shade cleaner in the finish, with a touch more sweetness. And compared with Death Wish, it's more nuanced while still delivering that heavyweight body. It's the dark roast that converts medium roast drinkers to the press lifestyle. Bottom line, big, sweet, and velvety with no fuss. Kick-Ass is purpose-built for French press enjoyment and tops the list for reliable, indulgent results across any kitchen setup. How to get the best cup. Make one change at a time, grind, then time, then ratio to tune sweetness and body without overcorrecting. With the top 3 picks, small tweaks pay big dividends and keep your French press in that sweet spot between rich and refined.